Alright, so I'm going to do a little test here today to try and show the difference between using a balanced falchion that's lighter, a balanced falchion that's heavier, and a more forward balanced falchion. And we're going to use these 14 gauge van braces as our test dummies. And we're going to put them on 2 layers of, put them on a 2x6 section of our rail in our basement ring. We're going to put them over a doubled up section of Ice Falcon Gambeson for you, because everybody pretty much knows how thick those are, I'm assuming. So, here's our van brace, and here's the 3 falchions. I've made all of these. This one was like the second falchion I ever made. This one was the first. This one, I don't even know. It was very recent. But this is for one of my bigger, stronger guys. And I've got my scale here. I'm going to weigh them all for you guys and list them off real quick. I've done all the balance points on them. That one's at 2.5. This one's at 2.5. This one's at 5 inches. This falchion weighs 2.6 pounds, so it's extremely light, extremely well balanced. Just got a ½ inch towards the tip compared to a normal 2-inch balance point, which is average for a really decent dueling sword. So you can swing this a lot faster, a lot more times, and a lot harder compared to this bad boy, which weighs 3.78 pounds, almost 4 pounds. It's extremely well balanced, so you're not going to kill your wrist with it necessarily. However, it's got a lot of extra weight compared to this one. It's almost a whole pound. Oh, it's over a pound heavier. And then this one, as you can see, I mean, it's a bit longer than the rest. But this one weighs 3.16 pounds. So it's right in between these two, but it's got a 5-inch balance point. So the balance is all the way up here. It's way farther towards the front. It's very tip heavy. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have my lovely assistant Sarah hit a section of these, which, again, 14 gauge, mild steel, nothing crazy. And we're going to see what kind of damage each weapon does with the same amount of force and the same person swinging it. So, I'm going to readjust the camera here. Say hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Okay. Camera is adjusted. Alright, so let's start with the small one. Go ahead and smack it with everything you got. Jesus. Okay. There's the hit. You can see it's a pretty sizable dent. And you probably hit, where do you think you struck with? The point or down right up there? Okay. So that's from a basically flat hit. So we're going to go to the other piece of armor here. Switch weapons. Let's go this way. Let's go with the mid-range weapon with the farther balance point. Go ahead. Okay. So you can see side to side. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. There we go. You can see that dent is about, let's actually, you know what, let's get technical on this. Let's measure the dents. This dent, the crease line is 1.5 inches. This one, it's 1.5 plus like 2 millimeters. I don't know what that is, but close enough. Okay, so I'm going to have you hit this part that hasn't been hit yet with the heaviest weapon, yet has a 2.5 inch balance point. Okay, so this one, the crease is 1.5. So the other thing we should measure, which I can't really technically measure, but I can feel it just fine. The hit from the heaviest falchion with more balance went just barely deeper than the hit from the farther balance point falchion. So the mid-range falchion with the 5-inch balance point penetrated, quote unquote, less deep than the heavier, more well-balanced falchion. Let's see. How can we better test this even more? Because the other thing is we only have an inch of space here versus an arm that would be filling it out more. Let's go ahead and let's quadruple the Gambeson here. So we're going to fold up the Gambeson even more. and try the test again. I'm going to put a marker mark through all of the original things. So let's see, this was the 2.5 heavy, and then 5-inch balance point middle, and then this was the 2.5-inch light. Okay, so I'm gonna have to hit this side of this one now with, let's just do it the same order we did. Okay, so she's gonna hit, when this is more padding, so it would simulate, more, it would have less stuff behind it, less give, or more give, I guess. So, okay. You hit the buckle.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Well, kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, so from where she cut the strap, it's 1.5 inches, so pretty much the same there. Light. Okay, so I'm gonna have you hit this part. Try and hit up there. Here, with back to the mid-range one. Okay, so here's test number 2 with the mid-range. Garrett, back up now. Okay, go ahead. Nice shot. Okay, that was a pretty good hit. That one was significantly longer. I'm assuming because it had more give to it. So we're at a just over 2-inch crease. Okay. I'll do this fashion. Let's see. Think you can hit right there? And not hit the strap on this one? Alright, ready? Go. Was that here? Or was that?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I flattened it.
Yeah, you flattened it. Okay, so the dent's not as long. That's like under 1.5 inches, but she severely flattened the vambrace to the point where it was. Wow, yeah, no, that's pretty bad. However, this one got some flattening to it as well. So, but yeah, no. So, I guess what I'm trying to say here is they all did roughly the same amount of damage, except. Wow, I just lost my train of thought. They did the same amount of damage. They did a lot of damage. They crumpled this thing. But the lighter one did the same amount of damage, pretty much. And that's got a more curved surface, so it's not going to have as long of a mark as the rest of them, which, I mean, as you can see, it's still pretty much matched up with them. But the dents from the heaviest falchion that was more balanced were deeper than almost any of them. And then the 5-inch one, I mean, how did you feel swinging all those? Which one would you prefer to swing?
The lighter balanced one.
Okay. Which one do you feel hit hardest?
The heavier balanced.
The heavier balanced one. Now, does the test show any difference between those?
Not really.
Not really. So, in theory, as I was saying, you should use a more balanced falchion because you can swing it more times. You think you're going to hit harder and do more damage with a brick? That's not true. You're just going to give yourself, way more carpal tunnel, possibly tear your rotator cuff, and that's about that. I mean, if you want to use something that's really, really forward heavy, use an axe. It's what it's for. If you want to kill your arm, if you want to land 2 heavy shots that you think are going to do more damage compared to 6 really fast shots that still do the same amount of damage, well, there you go. There's your test. There's your answer.